The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. Welcome to the Phoenix music scene on the YetiRadio.com.
Welcome, everybody. I'm the Yeti, and it's the YetiRadio.com. Welcome, and joining me tonight for a very special occasion is the Bellwethers. Local Phoenix band has a new album coming out, and we are going to premiere their title track off of that new album right here tonight. But we're going to go ahead and start it off with the intro song, All I See, right here with the Yeti. Everybody, please welcome the Bellwethers right here to the Yeti studio. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for inviting me for your release. This is going to be awesome.
Like to support the local crew whenever we can, so thank you.
No, absolutely. So let's see. We have Mr. Fran, Miss KZ, Mr. Bill, Mr. Dan, and then Mr. Corey. And so you guys became a band when?
Oh, the long.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one.
I'll give the abridged version. Started off early 2000s as a 3-piece. Went through a lot of different iterations. We met Bill. When was that?
2012.
12. Yeah. Brought Bill in. Really changed our sound up. Went through a couple more lineup changes and brought my brother Dan in, and then we were still trying to find a drummer. And went.
I was in it in 2010.
Oh yes. Oh, Kim has been.
One of the three guys in the original band.
Kim was
Okay.
on the periphery for a long time. We've worked together in several bands, but yeah, you came in 2010.
10, yes.
And then when did we put the Craigslist ad out?
Must have been like 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we found
Yeah.
that's how we found Corey.
We found Corey on Craigslist.
Okay. Awesome, Corey. The Craigslist find. That's pretty amazing.
Was there a warning on that ad? One of those, but
Craigslist warning ad.
You get what you pay for.
yeah. But it's been
He wants to.
Oh yes.
He wants to interject.
Fran misunderstood the term men seeking men.
Ah, okay. I got you.
You should have seen the other people that responded to the ad.
And we've been a happy family ever since.
Okay. So what is a bellwether?
Wow.
Webster definition,
Yeah, it's
or
nothing.
our-
Fran made it up. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
It's the like indicator of a trend or something new happening.
Okay. Trendsetters.
It's also
Gotcha.
a great way to make sure no one ever knows how to spell your band name.
It's a great way to come in right after Beatles on the
There
slot.
is no
Yeah, there you
go. There is no A in the name.
No, there's not.
We started off as the Bedwetters, and then
Bedwetters.
Ball sweaters.
The ball sweaters, yeah.
Okay. You came to Phoenix in.
I've been here since, well, I guess on and off since 95, 96, but yeah, so over 35 years.
I moved out here from New York in 91.
91.
I've lived here since 1984.
Do you want me to say how long I've been? I've been in Phoenix 1997. 1989, because that's when I was born.
Okay. So we have two original Phoenicians. Yes.
No.
No? Okay.
I moved here when I was very, very young, though.
Young enough, almost young enough to be a Phoenician.
Yes.
So, what drives your music?
Well, it's really a collaborative, kind of enterprise with everybody. One of us will have a riff, or Bill will have a riff, or we'll have some piece of music. I'll have a lyric, Kim will have a lyric, and we kind of shape it from there, like little bits and pieces. We've really evolved that way, being together and just knowing each other as well as we do, and the chemistry of the group. And I mean, I think that works for us. It's kind of given us a sound.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. When I started playing with these guys, it was very clear that Fran was writing the songs. He would come in with he had the chords and the lyrics, and like, now what do you do with this? And I think it was like 2 years later, Fran was like, shit, guys, I'm out of ideas. Anybody got any riffs? And so then we kind of started writing together at that point, and really, sort of bouncing ideas off of each other. which works pretty well. And Danny's brought a few song ideas and riffs and stuff into there as well that have worked out pretty nicely. Actually, I think Danny started Psychic Radio, didn't he? Wasn't that one of yours? That was one of your riffs? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. And every once in a while, Corey's like, I have an idea, and we just ignore him.
Yeah.
And Kim and I, our writing evolved as well, where, you know, her contribution to the lyrics and different song styles really came in, I'd say most prevalently on Schizophrenic Zen, you know, is when we were really writing together with, you know, kind of a concept and a purpose in mind.
Well, the first album was the roulette wheel of musicians in the band.
Yeah.
Figuring out who did what, and
We
who
had-
could go where, and
We
your
had
parameters.
different people in the band too.
Okay.
There was a different lineup when I joined. None of these gentlemen were in the band at the time that I joined.
Okay.
And then once we found this tribe, then it all started to kind of lock in. And writing, and Fran and I really, for the last album, Schizophrenic Zen, we really created that album around a story that Fran and I had come up with while we were down nerding out in the band room. And we went as far as even building characters and built the story around the characters. We storyboarded the album just like you would a film. And we wrote it from the perspective of these two characters.
Okay.
And using personal experiences as their backstory, and it made for a really interesting writing process, because you were talking about your own personal experiences, but you were doing it through the eyes of a character. And
Right.
for me, I felt like that helped bring some of my writing out that way, because sometimes it's hard to write about some of your personal experiences, especially those that are a little more on the negative side. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you don't want to have to relive those experiences. And so doing it this way actually allowed us to tackle some tough topics in the album, but through the eyes of a character.
Right. So it's a little less personable.
Yes. You kind of
Okay.
took yourself out of it, but not really.
Right. Okay. And it's something I've noticed over the years, even from when I was first getting into music when I was young. I know some of my favorite artists, you could see that same concept in the music that they wrote. And I think that's a beautiful scenario in being able to write an entire album. Make it a storyline, you know, make it a novel. And each song is a chapter. And it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, I won't speak for the other fellas, but like I love album rock from back in the 60s and 70s, even 90s, where the whole album, whether it was a concept or just a collection of songs, but like the start to back, it was just good, you know, like all the way through. It wasn't just all singles.
There was cohesiveness.
Yeah.
There was a cohesiveness
Yeah,
to the album.
very much so.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that's like getting lost. I mean, especially like with, you know, this sort of single mentality, and you know, you got to kind of go with the times and put stuff out as you need to. But yeah, I do like, and just judging from your record collection, clearly we're in the right place.
Well, thank you, and I feel you are. I get to see you guys at Pub Rock, and that was an amazing show. Rock Bar.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Pub Rock.
I know
Rock
you
Bar.
go to lots of shows.
Yes.
So they start to bleed together.
Well, and I had just talked about those are the two bars that get mixed up as far as I've seen the most.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yes, Rock Bar.
Fran and I have played Pub Rock, but it was with a collaboration with another band.
Okay. Yeah, and Rock Bar is amazing. I wasn't sure if that was you sitting there when my buddy and I showed up, and then you came over, and I was like, oh yes, okay.
Was that the Deirdre show?
Yes, that
Yes,
was
the
the
Deirdre
show.
show, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That show was a long time coming. We were actually supposed to play that show with them in 2020, and everything. Yep.
Yeah.
There were a couple of bachelorette parties.
Yeah, so bachelorette
yes,
parties, maybe
yes.
a couple of
I call that the COVID show.
COVID show.
That is true.
It got delayed for 2 years because of COVID, and then we finally played it and got COVID.
Yeah. These two did.
Yeah.
Sure did. Yeah.
I've had
we
it
should make it out
at least
a little
once. So.
special
See what happens when I turn my back?
Yeah, you're gone for 10 minutes, and we're
Already.
sucking COVID out of some co-ed's tonsils.
Well, we'll run down the line. Who are your biggest influences?
Stevie Nicks. I was a huge Led Zeppelin fan when I was in high school. Melissa Etheridge, and big Etta James fan. I really like the old school blues.
Awesome.
I'll go definitely the Beatles, Pink Floyd, big Jane's Addiction fan, and like
Okay.
I love all the '90s music. So
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. Let's see: Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith. Those would probably be my main ones off the top of my head. Yeah. I know I'm forgetting like 6, and I'm going to kick myself later, but that's a good start, I guess.
Yeah, I pretty much like all those too. Yeah,
Dan, the man of a few words.
Very in agreement. Toto, Static X, Fear Factory, Limp Bizkit.
Oh my God.
Yes, Kim.
Out.
Deal. Geniuses for their time. Except for Fred Durst. Fred Durst is a disappointment in every way, but the rest of them are geniuses.
That's going to be broadcast into space.
I could yell it louder, and I will broadcast that I enjoy Limp Bizkit, Dan. Fight me, Bill.
I did not bring my chainsaw.
What?
oh God,
What was that about Men for Men?
right,
Men Seeking Men? Is there any words of wisdom or advice other than the standard, don't give up, keep chugging, anything that stands out that you've ever been given or something that you've given to somebody because you guys have been doing this a while.
We have.
So whether it's advice that was been given to you or something you've given to somebody else to keep them going forward, other than the old Gipper or the Gusto.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough industry. I mean, you just got to keep at it. Like I've learned so much from when I started as a teenager till now, and it's all the people that you meet along the way. We're all very relaxed and kind of chill people just to begin with, and so networking and making friends with other cool people that's kind of come easy for us over the years, and a lot of those networks, those connections that we made turn into like really good friends later on. I mean, the most recent one being Andrew Coleman, and being able to tap into that well of expertise and knowledge and advice and all that. But it's keep working at your art and keep plugging away at it. That'd be for me, but.
To, like, organize 5 people, like show up to band practice, and all the work you two do specifically, like promoting shows and booking shows and all that.
Right.
It's a whole
Got to
thing.
promote. Got to sell the merch. Got to get the money revenue coming in from any and every aspect so that you can.
I keep hearing about revenue.
Yeah, what's this revenue thing that you keep talking about?
I have zero clue on it, but that's what I heard.
Well, to Danny's point, something that I feel very strongly about in the music industry is being the master of your domain and doing as much as you can for yourselves, because that's where artists run into problems when they have a huge team around them, especially when they sign with some of the bigger labels. It's harder for them to make money because there's so many other people they have to pay that are doing a lot of the work. And not only that, if you do it yourself, you have more control over your own branding. So we've kept everything in-house. We do work with a booking agent now, and Drew, being new to our team, as our producer for the new album. But we handle all our own business, and we do all of our own bookkeeping and the whole thing. And I would say that's important to know, because a lot of musicians don't realize how much this costs them to do it. and really turn it into a business and get the tax breaks that they need and that kind of thing. So that was a game changer for us when we started treating it like a business.
Okay, awesome. I know one of the things that was brought to me by Mr. Jerry over at Focus TV was one of the reasons he brought his business down here was that in Arizona, if you do a music video, it's a write-off at the end of the year for the band. So, definitely get them out there. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Focus TV yet.
You actually introduced me to Focus TV,
okay.
And I need to reach out to them.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
So thank you for that connection.
No, absolutely. Jerry's great. The guys over there, they're great. The VJs that he's got are all local musicians.
Oh, very cool.
Nice. But what's the philosophy of the band as a whole?
Don't be a dick.
That can't be right.
Rebuttal.
I mean, I don't know if we really have like a hard and fast philosophy, but my answer to that is always that I'm just here to get drunk and make noise, and I just kind of let these guys handle the real adult choices.
Right. Okay. Hey, if it works, right?
Mom, dad, and kids.
And I got to agree with you to an extent, except for me, it's don't be a prick because most of them aren't big enough to be a dick.
I like that.
I'm grateful that I get to work with all these guys and gals because this has been the best lineup I've ever been in, and the chemistry is really great. The way we work together is great, and I think we all just love writing and creating together, and that's sort of the heart of it. Everything else, the shows are fun and doing all the rest of it is great, but for me it's when we hunker down in our band room and write and come up with that new melody or that new verse or whatever it is.
Awesome.
I don't know, that's not a philosophy, but it's a feel good thing.
Yeah, no, it works. It's kind of like the USPS. If it fits, it ships. What is craziest or strangest thing you ever had? Anything crazy or strange off the wall happen at a show? Oh, Dan laughed. The drunk guy laughed.
So we did 3 shows down at Benditos in Mexico, and the second morning, me, my then girlfriend, and Bill were out in the ocean messing around, just having some fun, and I got picked up by a wave, and when it came back down, it slammed me into a rock, and the rock was about as long as my thigh, and immediately couldn't use or feel my left leg, and I had to start trying to pull myself out of the ocean with my arms because I couldn't move my leg, and Bill had to come help, and it was kind of freaky, and I could have died. But so we get to that night. It's the second night. We did 3 hours the first night, 3 hours the second night, and then we were doing 2 hours on Sunday. And I'm dying just because my leg hurts like hell. But I'm still playing. And so I asked someone to just grab me something to help with the pain. And I've already been drinking. I'm drinking energy drinks to kind of keep the energy up and drinking booze to not think about how much my leg hurts. And so someone grabs me some pain meds, and so I take the pain meds and I keep going. And
Mexican pain meds.
2 or 3 songs later, between songs, I asked the person, I was like, what did you get me? They're like, I don't know, I'll go ask the bartender. I asked them for something. They come back and it was Percocet. So I'm multiple drinks in between energy drinks and booze, and now I've got some Percocet downed. I got
Percocet sandwich.
2 hours to go, and I'm just varying levels of fading, either feeling like I'm gonna fall over or feeling perfectly fine. I don't remember most of the night, and I remember at the end of it, I just kind of stumbled back to the hotel and sat in the shower with it turned as hot as I could for 35 minutes till I could feel warmth again. So I think I might have almost died, but I don't actually know. That was a bad one.
Still played the show.
I still played the show and the next one. And I also still don't have all the feeling back in my left thigh.
Oh, wow. The common perineal is definitely a nerve you don't want to mess with.
That was a really intense story about near-death experiences. I was just going to tell you about the time a girl licked sweat off my face.
Hey, you know.
Also terrifying.
It was a little weird, but yeah, it's just this, we were playing a set, and I want to say like it was like 11:30 or 11:45, 12 o'clock, and this lady was clearly trashed, but she like came up to the front of the stage where my mic was set up and like made vague sounds between songs and gestured to me, and I leaned down and she said something. I didn't understand her, and I kind of like just pulled my head back a little and said, "What?" and then leaned in again, and she licked from here to here, just licked up the side of my face. And I had played 2 sets that night and was like just absolutely covered in sweat. It was like August at Chopper John's. So gross. Like I immediately felt so bad for this person. Like clearly that wasn't what they intended to do with their life when they got up that morning. I don't know. I don't know. I guess she did not offer me an explanation or repeat what she was trying to tell me. She did that, and then I think got kicked out. I'm not sure. Maybe she threw up in the bathroom. I'm not sure. Unrelated. Next topic.
We've had some interesting stuff happen.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I'd actually steal one of Bill's. I have a varying degrees of anxiety before any show. I've been doing this for so long; it's just one of those things. But the REO show beforehand, I was like really tense because that was like a big show, and we're like getting through. We're doing all of our stuff and we're sound checking everything, and then Bill's like, "My amp doesn't work." So crisis moment. But shout out to our good friend Andy for making that run and getting the replacement amp back over in time.
We have the best road crew around.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know, what about you?
I would have to say it would be the show when you forgot your capo and leaned over to me in the middle of a song while he's playing going, "I forgot my capo. I need it for the next song." And his brother Joe, who was there, we were trying to get to come to the stage, and he was busy. I think he was talking to a lady. And so I had just enough time to jump off stage, so I thought, and go get it and come back on stage. Well, the problem was the stage was about 4 feet high, and I couldn't get down the stage, so I had to leap off the stage. I thought I was Catwoman. Turns out I'm not. I stuck the landing, but somebody had spilled a drink, and so I rolled my ankle, and you just heard this loud crack. And so I went back up on stage, and I made the mistake of taking my shoe off. I actually had I had fractured my ankle that night, but I got back up on stage. So much like Corey, we just play through the pain.
Show must go on.
The show must go on.
Show must go on. I had to go to the emergency room the next day because my ankle swelled up, and I was in a boot for like 3 months.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yep. So that was I'm a klutz.
A fun after note for that is I actually had a capo just like on my amplifier. It was right there. There's no reason to jump off a stage for that. Like I just keep one hooked on to the little handle on the amp head.
We know this now, right?
Yes.
Things
I
learning
it was common knowledge.
you learn something every day.
Apparently not.
That's news to me. So.
Well, I didn't want to tell you after you were like limping around afterwards. Like, oh, you didn't actually have to do that. There was one right here. It's like
Tucking it away.
just throw it on the ground.
That's awesome.
Then we wouldn't have a story.
Right? Gotta have stories.
Daniel, do you have a story?
Not like that, but backstage we were playing with Don Felder from the Eagles at what was it? Pepsi Arena?
Pepsi Amphitheater.
Okay.
Pepsi Amphitheater in Flagstaff. And I'm just waiting backstage, and him and his handler, manager man, who looks like Ronnie Mund from the Howard Stern show. Yeah. I'm just standing there, and he says, "Hey boys," or something, and I'm just standing there, and apparently I was in the way.
He said gentlemen.
Gentlemen?
And, like, nodded at you, and
I was just standing by the stairs,
3 times.
but I didn't know this, but apparently you can't get in famous people's ways. So I was just sitting there, and then I was instructed to move, and I think he was wearing an all-tan tracksuit, if I remember. Don Felder was.
He was wearing white. Yeah.
Oh, well,
It was a white. Like,
He looked very good,
He was awesome.
and he wrote all those wonderful songs. But I just embarrassed myself.
It was good. It all worked out.
and also with you.
Don Felder thought I looked like Stevie Nicks, so I'm his biggest fan now.
Okay.
My hair was longer at the time.
Well, I used to work in Vegas, and I was standing on the other side of the black curtain, and Shooter Jennings, who's maybe not even half my size, came barreling through the black curtain right into me.
Did he say gentlemen?
No. He was like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Sorry." He goes, "My bad." Because I barely moved and he almost fell over. So it was just one of those weird situations. So it was kind of neat.
Did he had to look up to you?
Yeah. He was like, "The hell did I just run into?" What's your favorite song to perform?
Ooh. I don't know. I have to think on this one.
Normally I'd say All I See Is my favorite because Bill has the talk box and I just love that so much. But on the newer stuff, I really get a kick out of a song called Circle. It's going to be on the new record.
Okay.
Favorite song to play? Of ours or just in general?
Both.
Both? All right. I'll say of our material, I think I'm pretty partial to Magic Water these days. That one's a lot of fun. And then covers that we've done over the years, I think my favorite is probably Helter Skelter, because it's just like 2 chords and you can get like pretty rowdy with it without fucking up as bad as I usually do. So.
Awesome.
Sorry, am I not supposed to say that on? I don't know the rules.
No.
Do you have
fine.
duck sounds?
No.
Okay.
We're on the internet. We're not.
Okay. So
The First Amendment's in the First Amendment's in play here.
I like playing Masquerade, and because it has I play bass, so it has a fun little bass part, and also Talk of the Town. Masquerade's on Schizophrenic Zen, so check that out. And then
Absolutely.
Talk of the Town's on the new album, Psychic Radio.
Okay.
I like Psychic Radio a lot, too. Yeah, I like that. Especially when you're dancing on the bar.
Dancing on the box. Uh-oh.
He's not joking.
I'm partial to Tower. Oh yeah, of course I would. I get the hit stuff. Same reason I like House of Cards. So also House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, I had one. Oh, Blank Pages. Stupid fun. That's a new one. So people haven't heard that. Well, some people have, I guess. I actually don't know. Have we done that live?
Yeah, we've done it.
What, like twice?
Once or twice.
I think like twice, something like that. But yeah, I'm partial to those.
When did y'all come back from Virginia?
The first session we came back today actually was the year anniversary of our last day recording with Drew
Okay.
for the first session.
Okay.
We were out in Virginia Beach for 2 weeks. By the time they got to my parts, which I usually go last in the studio, I had a day and a half to do 12 songs. So I did 6, and then I got to go back by myself in November.
Okay.
So we wrapped everything up the first week of November. I went down for 3 days, and Drew and I just hammered it out over the course of about 30 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because it was the first time that I had been in the studio without the boys.
Okay.
And I'm so used to getting, feedback from them and the whole thing, and this was just me and Drew and lots of tasty bits, as Drew calls it.
Okay.
Depending on what your role is in the band, tasty bits
Changes.
changes, yes, but he will say, okay, now give me some tasty bits. For me, it was harmonies, It was doing harmonies, and he got me doing like 4-part falsetto harmonies, which I don't typically sing in my falsetto, so that was crazy. But yeah, we wrapped recording at the end of, or the first week of November.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. So, songs that I like to perform. I do like to play Talk of the Town because I am known to jump up on a bar or two. I call it bar stomping. I've done it at the Spirit Room. Chopper John's was actually the first place that let me do that. Thanks, John. I really like doing Magic Water from the new album. I really like doing Blank Pages as well. And the reason for that is one of the things that we've evolved in our sound is having more of both of our vocals at the same time versus the call and response. We still do call and response, but we did some testing with some of the new songs and having it be more androgynous sounding, where you've got both vocals and you don't know who's doing what part.
Right.
So Magic Water and Blank Pages for me, and I do like Looking Glass too. The last 3 songs I just mentioned are off the new album.
Okay.
So.
I can't wait.
Neither can we.
Well, after we met and after that set, I was like, because I had listened to the music, and for me, the recorded stuff is one thing because it's a controlled environment and it's as close to perfect as you can get. But when you get on stage and you give me, as an audience member, that feeling or that show, bring me into it from where I'm at to all the way where you're at. And it's just, that's what I look for when I go to shows. If you can take what you did recorded and just make the live just that much better. The live makes it for me for a live show makes it for me for a band. The recordings can be great, but they should be because, again, they're controlled. Yeah. But when you get up on stage and you perform and you just bring us into it, that's just totally amazing. And you guys do an outstanding job. So I can't wait. I'm extremely looking forward to this, personally. So, I guess this is the time we're going to take a quick intermission. So I'm the Yeti, and these are the Bellwethers, and we are going to listen to Alice on Fire with the Bellwethers in the Yeti Radio Studio.
Thank
All right, back in the studio with the Bellwethers. Oh, crazy stories, lots of fun. So, okay, you had to make 2 trips to Virginia. How many times were you there? Because you do vocals, rhythm guitar, and is there any piano on the new track or on the new LP?
Yep. There's a little bit of piano.
Okay.
I think some organ as well.
Okay.
Some Moog. Yeah, I was only there for the first trip. Got all my stuff in on that first go.
Okay.
So I think actually all of us, the rest of us, all got our stuff done.
Yeah.
Well, you do it on an individual basis as far as laying everything down and.
The way that we did it was, Corey would go first with the drums to lay all the drum tracks down, and Dan would do some of the bass with that. And I think we just did some scratch. Guitar in there.
Scratch tracking.
Yeah, we had to when we first got into the studio, Drew needed to hear everything, right? So he hadn't heard a lot of the new stuff. So we basically ran through everything and just did a live performance for him so he could get the vibe of the song. And he recorded it so that we had scratch for it. And then we laid drums, bass, guitar, Fran's stuff.
Right.
And then my vocals are typically last.
Okay. With that being said, the way you said that, he got a free personal show. Makes me want to be a music producer. Makes me want to go to school and learn. And I don't know how.
Oh, we paid for the privilege.
Oh no, I'm sure. But I enjoy. Like I said, when you guys were on stage, it was amazing, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and getting the story and the tidbits of what you've gone through for this next album is it's an honor. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're really proud of what we did in Virginia and with Drew. I'm really excited for the record to come out.
And the studio, the studio was amazing that we were in. It was the best studio I've ever been in to record. Tom Gwaltney.
Top 5 for sure.
I'm sure Tom will appreciate that. No, so Drew records at Graphic Sound Studio, and the studio is owned by a gentleman by the name of Tom Gwaltney. So we got to spend a lot of time with Tom too. It's connected to his home.
All right.
And it was, it's on a lake. So it was, going out for breaks didn't suck. We had a great view. Tom was in and out of the studio. He himself is also a musician. And, getting to know him and spending as much time as we did in the studio was amazing as well. We were there between 10 and 11 hours every day for 10 days. I think we logged 110 hours or something like that in there.
Wow.
But to work in, like a A+++ studio was also, a thrill as well. But when we actually performed live, we were not all together. We were each in different rooms too, which made it interesting. And we were watching each other, on the monitors and the whole thing. So that was an interesting part of the process.
You guys were watching each other. I just watched myself on the monitor.
Nice. We did.
We know, Bill.
God, I'm so hot.
Tom also has a lot of really great gear that we got to play around with. Just tons of electronics, tons of guitars, a gorgeous baby grand piano in there.
Yeah, it was a grand piano.
Oh, grand
for
piano.
sure.
That was the first time I heard of Nashville tuning, actually.
Yeah. And that matchless amp that he had in there was great too. I used that on, I think, every song. I used that matchless amp. A couple of cool Les Pauls and SGs in there that we got to take out and use on a couple of songs. Had to put new strings on them though, but that's fine.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
That's nothing. Was there a Leslie amp anywhere?
I don't think we had Leslie on this.
No, there wasn't like a mechanical Leslie. I think there might have been some studio plug-in stuff that we used for that. But
okay,
we on Schizophrenic Zen, our last studio trip, there was like an actual physical Leslie in the studio that Fran used for a couple of tracks. That was pretty cool.
Yes, that's probably as far as that goes. That's my favorite thing. Put that up with a B3 and just wow.
Yeah, that's that classic organ, rock tone. So,
if you could open for anybody, now you've already done REO Speedwagon, and you got to do I can't remember it.
Don Felder.
Yeah, because there was a super group kind of sorta that they were doing together. So past or present, if you could bring them back to life, if you had to.
Back to life.
Oh, wow.
Who would you open for if you could?
I mean, I go Beatles, like right away, like
Right.
That would be an awesome show. Confusing.
Only if we get to play Helter Skelter.
before
Before them.
the opening band plays
Fuck
the
you, Paul. We're playing it.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Bill's gonna cringe when I say this, but Fleetwood Mac would be one for me.
That'd be great as long as you get Peter Green back.
Anyway,
man, I don't know. I guess Alice in Chains. If I could get Lane Staley around and play with Lane and Jerry Cantrell, that'd probably be it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if we were opening for someone, we'd be Backstage. And I'd always want to see.
We'd be doing drugs with them.
Right. Well,
You do drugs?
I'd always want to see.
only Mexico drugs.
If you
Only
play
Mexican drugs.
Lane Staley, you do drugs. Those are the rules.
I've seen. I love back in the day, Rage Against the Machine, and I'd like to see them from on the stage and not getting my ass kicked in the crowd.
Right.
So I would just like to stand there and watch them and enjoy the show.
Okay.
Foo Fighters would be rad as hell. It's
Yes.
fun band. It's just fun. I like to hit drums really hard at loud stuff. That's exactly what that is too. It's ideal.
Absolutely. Nice.
Bob Marley and the Wailers smoke weed.
Just shouting at him there as though it's the last time a microphone will ever be in front of you. Damn the man, save the empire.
Is this only going out to college radio?
Our kids are going to be so proud.
What a legacy.
Only if they condense this shit down into a 30-second TikTok that they can watch. Otherwise, there's no way they'll get this far into this interview.
Right?
Can this be distilled into a 30-second TikTok?
How many TikToks can we make out of this?
Yeah. I can try.
Just half sentences, half answers.
Yeah.
So confusing.
I
Just-
don't
just
know a
the-
lot of the dances, but if you could get this into a TikTok somewhere, that'd be great.
It'll be like a visual ransom letter.
Yeah, we'll do just the questions and then another one of just the answers, and then you got to figure it out.
Right.
Match them up.
Connect the dots.
Right. That sounds good.
If you weren't musicians right now, what would you be doing?
Working for the man.
Doing what I do now.
I mean, I suppose, like, being like a stable, responsible adult. I don't know.
Would you know?
I mean, maybe. If I wasn't a musician, I don't know.
I'd be an all-day dreamer.
I literally do the exact same thing except for play more video games in my downtime.
Okay.
That was from Spinal Tap, by the way.
I would be working in marine biology. That's what I went to school for.
Awesome. Wow. That was
You know I always wanted to pretend to be an architect.
Okay, Art Vandeleg.
I don't see architecture coming from you.
We're talking buildings, churches, office space. What kind of architect?
You see the new Guggenheim?
the new.
Didn't even take that long.
I thought you were in latex.
Oh. or into
I
latex?
don't want to talk about that.
And you want to be my latex salesman.
Please tell me you don't wear latex.
Anymore.
Oh,
In this economy?
well, and that in Arizona, you don't wear latex in Arizona on the summer tour.
No.
Bill's tried leather pants.
I do have a pair of leather pants that is not recommended.
Yeah.
I just have like flashbacks of Ross from Friends and baby powder.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that...
trying to get in them.
No, they're not that tight or hard to put on or take off. They're lined and just within 30 seconds of putting them on, even like in the house, in the air conditioning, not moving, this was a bad choice, and I take them back off. I've had them for like 20 years. I've never worn them anywhere.
He's standing in the studio going, hot.
3 songs, then either have to disrobe or pass out. Perhaps both.
So, live shows coming up. We have anything scheduled right away, or you got any tours going?
No tours.
No tours. Our booking agent Stacy Newpoff is working on that. We have a show coming up on April 1st. Yes, it's April Fool's Day. We're not screwing around. We are actually playing. We're playing Chopper John's for the Arizona Bike Week.
Okay.
And we're going to have our friends Jaffe's Descent playing with us. Our friends The Hardways. Very excited about playing with those guys again. And starting the day is a band called Rio Grande.
Okay.
And they're kicking off at like 4. And then the other 3 bands will go on 8 and on.
Okay. Where are you guys at on that list?
We're going on around 9:15ish.
9:15.
Yep. It'll be Jaffe's Descent, then us, and then the Hardways.
Okay. Let's see. We kind of touched on it just a little bit with the industries, the changes in the industry. Like you were talking about a couple, 2 or 3 maybe singles within the album. Because I've seen it done just singles. Because that's a new way to do it due to streaming platforms. But there's still a lot that stick to the old school method of a couple singles, get everybody enticed, and then drop the whole album. Where do you see the differences in today's technology as opposed to when you started?
Oh, man, I mean, when I started, it was like DAT machines and, reel to reel and that stuff. I mean, I don't even think Pro Tools was really a huge thing back then. Yeah, it was like 4-track recordings. The technology is just improved by leaps and bounds. I mean, exponentially so. And you could do so much with it. But, to me, there's some stuff like our vinyl. I love that vinyl. I love playing it on the record player. Like I love the grooves of it. I mean, it's its own feel. Like when you play it on the record player, the CD is great, but you don't get that same kind of just vibe from it. And
right,
I think maybe it's more of a nostalgic thing for me, with that. But if you want to record anything, you can record anything,
right.
Nowadays.
Right.
Folks thinks music is free now because it's available everywhere and anywhere. But yeah, I'm with you on the vinyl. When we listened to the test pressing for Schizophrenic Zen when it came out, I hadn't listened to vinyl in so long, and to hear the richness of it, I was like, there it is.
I can't wait.
That pop and crackle, that first drop of the needle. There's just nothing that takes that place. But the digital age made it very easy for folks to get their stuff out there, which is great. The downside to that is you got to cut through a lot of white noise because not everything that comes out is great.
Right.
And because music is so readily available on streaming, folks kind of just assume that it's free when a lot of money actually goes into recording an album.
Absolutely.
A lot of money.
Well, one of the questions that I have with it when it comes to streaming, I've looked at what the payouts are on some of the streaming platforms Granted, one's significantly more than the other one when you talk about it's double. But if I buy a song, let's say on iTunes, a track is usually $1, then I have unlimited listening. But if I stream it off of one of the platforms that counts every time that it's streamed, on one website it's one every, I want to say 86 or 87 streams, and then the other one is like one every 164 is $1 to the band. Supposedly.
Well,
supposedly.
$1
I don't know that the back end on that.
Yeah.
But when they say it's this much per play after 30 seconds,
it depends on the streaming platform. They all have different pricing.
Okay.
That is something that the feds are trying to address. But I'll break it down for you. We had a song that streamed 2,000 times in a month, and our royalties were $12.60. Nobody's getting rich off of streaming. It all goes to the platform owners, and then they give us fractions of the pennies, on the play.
right.
So, you're making something, and the argument from the corporations that own these platforms is, well, we're giving you reach. But it's also intellectual property that's, being consumed, and so there needs to be a little more fairness with some of the payouts on this stuff.
Okay.
But we're not going to solve it. It's bigger than one person going into it. It's how the industry is kind of navigated to this point, and it's got to be a lot of different people coming together in the industry as well. The platform owners, the musicians, and all the middlemen in between coming in and agreeing on what's fair. But right now, it's not in favor of the artist.
Well, no, not at all, because of the upper echelon, if you want to call them that. But that's why we do what we do on the independent side of the house, is to give the platforms so that they can be heard. And I'm so praying for the day that I actually get to start my station. My buddy in Washington that got me doing this has been, you need to get launched. And I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that right now. I get maybe 6 or 7 people that come and watch the show, and
well, maybe we'll get 8 because we're on.
Well, there are some that come in after the fact. Yeah. So, and I'm trying different avenues to bring different things in, so that we can try and get it out there way more. And I'm talking live streaming at some of the venues. There's one venue that I'm working with, and once we get all the bugs worked out of it, in fact, the video that I did at their venue was probably one of the most hits that I've got on any video.
Oh, nice.
On my YouTube page. So I think that was something that might go somewhere, but we got to get all the bugs, get the right internet speed, and because when they were going to go on stage, because it's their stage, everybody's phones turned on, and it went. I lost everything.
Oh no!
So I had to go out and hand record it.
Wow.
Well,
we appreciate what you do, and doing this for the independent artists and for the local around here too. It's we all need to support each other and stick together and create a scene, because Arizona's prolific with talented bands and musicians. There's just no real scene, there's pockets of scenes around.
Yes.
And it's not like going up and down Sunset Strip where you can go to the Troubadour and all the different places that have music, and you can just walk up and down a strip and see.
Right. We don't have Bourbon Street.
No.
We don't have Hollywood. We don't have Pioneer Square.
We've got some great venues that are very pro local scene. But again, you got to commit to that place, right? Because you're not going to drive all over, especially if people are drinking, so they're going to go to that one place. And it's sad because Arizona really does have a large population of gifted musicians in this town.
Very, very large. You've seen the banner.
Yeah.
That's only like 457, 458.
Wow.
And that's not even touching.
Scratching the surface.
That's nothing. And there's probably another 1,500 at least that I don't even know who they are. Or
Yet.
I'm trying.
It's a mission.
Boy, is it. But this has been a blast. And I can't wait to see you guys live again. Unfortunately, I won't make the show on the 1st. That's my 5-year-old's birthday.
Happy birthday,
So that's the only drawback to that one. But I will definitely make it to another one. I can't wait. I definitely want to hear all the new music, and I'll be looking for the release for the album for sure.
Well, we really appreciate you having us.
Well,
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll see you again at a show coming up. That won't be the last one.
no, definitely not, for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The Beatles. We did. I was just looking for some information for something I was doing for a show, and the Beatles are top 4 record sales in the U.S. So, and that was 178 million. And I was like, wow. And I Googled when the Beatles went big, 1964. They have a total 178 million albums sold, and in 1964, there's only 192 million people in America.
Crazy.
That's an impressive statistic.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. So put it in perspective for those that don't know.
Well, there are big chunks of America where people had to buy them twice after their parents burned them.
Right. Because they played them backwards.
All right, everybody. These are the Bellwethers, and I'm going to let you guys do the deed for the next one. Introduce it.
This is Psychic Radio.
By the Bellwethers.
Play it on the radio.
Psychic Radio from the Bellwethers right here on the Yeti Radio. And an awesome song right there. Everybody wave at the camera. And thank you guys for joining me. It was a blast. And look forward to many times again and getting to see you guys live. So thank you for joining me. And give it one more wave because my dumb ass forgot to hit transition. But thank you again, and everybody keep your eyes out for Psychic Radio, the Bellwethersmusic.com, and the Bellwethers on all their social media, as well as the Yeti Radio on everything known to the Yeti Radio. Thank you. Have a good time, and keep playing independent music. Good night.